Hey everybody, it's Kate Beaters. Let's see, I was having a few technical issues before. Let's see, is this working? So let me know that you can hear me. I am Kate Beaters, your breakthrough expert, and let me know, do some hearts, do some likes, let me know like, yes, we can hear you. I know it's cold in Boston today. It's feels like 50 degrees. Maybe it's freezing the internet. Okay, just got a message from one of my team members. She's not seeing it. Let's see if this is working. Okay. Let me know, give me some hearts, give me some likes if you can see this. Let's see, Lynn, I see you're watching. Can you see this? You can hear me? Can you, oops. Let's see. Can you see me? Is it working? And you can see me, alrighty. So now I can stop those texts from coming up in front of me. So hey everybody, let me know who's here, say hi. Let me know also if you've got warmer weather than we do. We've got freezing weather, honest to goodness, it's crazy. February was like 70 and 80 degrees. And today it feels like winter out. I mean, I was outside earlier walking Cali. I had my fleece jacket on. So if you are somewhere warm, please send me some sunshine. Let me know who's here. And if you're listening to this live, can you do a 1? And if you're listening to the replay, do a 2. Just let me know so I know who's listening to all this. And I've got a really good training for everybody. I want to talk about overcoming objections because I had a conversation with a client the other day, and she was all upset because she thought somebody was going to say yes to her, to her service and all that. And the client's like, oh no, I can't afford it. And, so my client, as a new client, took her literally. And then she sees her like a week later posting photos from some glam vacation in the Caribbean. And she was kind of pissed because she's like, wait a minute, this woman's giving me this sob story how she has no money and she's off traveling. But she was saying she had no money to work with me. So if this ever is, if this has ever happened to you, I know it's happened to me when I first started my business, let me know, do like a yes, like yes, I've experienced that. Hey Bianca, I see you. Hey Marta, please say hi. And if you're listening to this live, do a 1. If you're listening to this, do a 2. And if you're in someplace with sunshine, please give me a sunshine emoji and send me some sunshine. I'm kind of dressed and pretending that we've got some warm weather here because this is just crazy weather here. So I do want to talk about overcoming objections because the thing I know, and I've been doing this long enough, that so many of you are really, really great at what you do, and you get someone like, a prospect over the phone or in person, and all that, and you think they're going to say yes, and then something happens, and it falls through. And this is something, so I want to focus on overcoming objections on today's training, and I am going to, be really diving in deep to this on the event at Conversations to Clients Live. And Michelle, if you could put the link to that, conversationstoclientslive.com, just so for anybody who does travel or is local and wants to come to that in a few weeks. I have a couple of seats still left. You can join us when we dive in really deep into this and all that. Oh, Bianca, thank you for the sunshine. So Michelle, if you could post that URL, that would be great. And also there's a special savings. Michelle, if you could post the code YES17, that would be awesome too. Thank you for doing that. So like I said, we still have a few seats left. So I want to talk about objections because like I said, you could be having a really great conversation with somebody and you're talking, you're connecting, and they're excited about what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. And then, when it comes to like, closing them, which is basically what you're doing, nothing really happens. And can you do me a favor, if that's been a big issue for you, can you do like a thumbs up or something, or a like or whatever, because this is a really, really critical issue for people. And what I find people often tend to do is, instead of focusing on how to get better at it, instead they say, well, I must not be good enough, so I'm going to get another certification, or I'm going to do this thing, or I'm going to do that thing, or I'm going to change my pricing, or I'm going to rebrand myself, or I'm going to get a new logo, or I'm going to change the color of my hair, or I'm going to get new glasses, or whatever the heck that is you're going to do, instead of really learning how to overcome objections. So I want to teach you some things today to really start to empower you, so you can start to move forward this way. So I'll take a sip here. I've got my Alaska mug because it feels like Alaska outside today. It's so cold. Can you see the deer? So Alaska's beautiful, by the way. Has anyone been? I've been twice. Last summer and the summer before. Most beautiful place in the world, I think, or one of the most beautiful places. So let's talk about objections, and because I want to just help you start to become more comfortable with it, because again, doesn't matter how gifted and talented and what an expert you are, if you can't get people to say yes to you, then you're in deep trouble, and that's not good. So what I want you to think about is there's usually the major objections. And does anyone want to just go ahead and put them in the post? You guys know what they are. It doesn't matter what you're selling or what your services are. Go ahead, if you want to go ahead and post them before I say them, because, oh, thanks, Michelle, you love the mug. So, hey, Sherry, I see you're there. So if you guys, what are the big objections? Sherry, I'm fine. I'm cold. And I know you're in Massachusetts too, so you can't send any warm weather here. But we want to talk about these because it's the same objection whether you are selling insurance, whether you're a coach, whether you're a photographer, whether you're selling makeup, whether you're selling dog products, whatever the heck it is. Yeah, not enough money. Okay, Sherry just put, that's like the big one, right? People not having money for it. The second one is time, right? Yep. See, Michelle just put not the right time. Michelle, you must be reading my mind. Not the right time. Another one is that they don't have time. They don't have time. Okay, Sherry, that's an objection about you. Like you're not a salesperson, right? Also, another big objection is they have to ask somebody. The mother, father, sister, brother, whatever. I had a client who actually swung a pendulum to ask if she should work with me or not. One way was like, yep, I have to check with XYZ, and a woman, she had a pendulum, and she actually did end up saying yes, and we worked together for a while. And one way, I forgot, either up and down was yes or sideways was no. So that was, but she ended up getting a yes. And so, which was great because I thoroughly loved working with her. And she actually, in her book, acknowledged me. She wrote a book. So that was kind of cool. And Sherry, yep, not knowing enough people. So, and the last objection that I want to just mention too is one that is not really brought up, but it's a deep, deep one. And this thing I'm going to dive in really, really deep into the event. And the last objection is, can you really help me? Okay, can you really help me? Because that's the basis of everyone's fear, under the time, and I have to ask somebody, and blah, 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 blah. Underneath it all is like, can you really help me? You're going to get me results. Maybe they've tried 20,000 things, or maybe they've got their self-confidence has dropped, or this thing's happened, or that thing's happened. And, but they're afraid to say it because they're like, they don't want to sound stupid and say, like, can you really help me? In their mind, that's what they think, that it sounds stupid to say it. And I've been able to have conversations with clients and say to them, like what's really going on? And then they tell me, but it's being able to have that kind of rapport with somebody. So let's talk about the first one. And that's where I'm going to just kind of focus probably most of today's training on, because they all they're also interrelated. And so money, people say they don't have enough money. So here's the thing I want you to hear is that, and this is really, really critical, write it down, because this, like I said, this is a killer. When someone says they don't have the money, they don't have the budget, that type of thing. And then all of a sudden, like I said, you see them on vacation, you see them wearing fancy clothes, fancy jewelry, they have my girl's sleeping, otherwise I'd let you see her. They got a very cool dog, that they just got, whatever, that it just really does something to your self-esteem when you see that. And the whole idea behind this is understanding that if you haven't worked through your own stuff, you can't help anybody else. So let me repeat that. If you're stuck in your own story, if you haven't helped anybody, if you have not been able to help yourself, or gotten the help rather, on this issue around your own money story, it's really, really, really difficult. to guide anybody through their fear about not having the money. Because the truth is that most people are not sitting around going, oh, what should I spend my money on today? Oh, I think I'll go to this event, or I think I'll join this coaching program, or I think I'll buy this product, or I'll hire this person. Most people aren't sitting around thinking like that. They have to really figure out where they're going to come up with the money. For most people, I'm not saying everybody, but for most people. And so if you are all caught up with money and your story is that you don't have enough money, you can never, ever, ever help somebody overcome that objection, because that's too much of who you are. So often I'll get clients coming to me and they'll say to me first, like one of the first things that they want to work on is, why do they always attract clients on a budget? And I'm like, well, are you on a budget? Because laws of attraction, what you give out is what you're getting. So if you're giving out that you're on a budget, you're going to get that back. I spoke to somebody the other day who was interested in my event. And because her big thing was that she always attracts people on a budget. Yet when I started talking to her, all of a sudden I was like, I don't have the money, I don't have the money, I don't have the money. So when your whole place is like that, when you're totally in that story that you don't have the money, you can never ever attract people with money. Or even if they don't necessarily have the money, just like free cash, just like hanging out there, helping them figure out where to come up with the money. Does that make sense to everybody? Can I get some yeses, likes, some hearts, and all that? Let's just see what you guys got. Got some yeses or hearts or something? This is making sense to everybody? Oh, great. I'm getting some hearts. I'm getting some likes. Thank you, guys. So this is really, really critical to understand, because where most people go wrong is that they think, oh, if I just get another certification, or oh, if I just start selling another product, or oh, if I just change my name, or oh, if I just color my hair, or oh, if I do this, if I do that, then all of a sudden I'll attract people with money. It's like, no, you've got to start from yourself. You have to start from you. You have to learn how to shift your money story. And that is part of the work we do at the event, Conversations to Clients Live. And Michelle, I think you've got the link there. If you want to give it again, that's great. So understand that that's conversationstoclientslive.com. So understand, if you haven't worked through your own stuff, you can never, ever overcome it. Because what I used to do, and I've seen a lot of my clients do until I work through my money story, until my clients work through their money story, is that when someone says that they didn't have the money, it would be like, okay, call me when you do have the money. It's like, yeah, right. Are they, like almost like on their list, top of the list. When I have my money, I will call Kate. It's like bullshit, excuse my language. But, you learn that is never, ever, like, well, I won't say in a million years, but that's most likely not going to happen, right? They're not making, like, note to self. When I have money, I'm going to contact this person and work with them. No, that's not what happens. It rarely ever happens. And see, Sherry, like you're saying, you're too shy. Sherry, you're in Massachusetts, so I know it's just like a little ride for you. You need to be at that event. So understand that when you're shy, when you hold all these stories about yourself too, that if you're shy, if you're this, if you're that you're going to hold yourself back, and then people can't see your brilliance. And that's what I'm all about, teaching people how to show up in their brilliance. So again, if you've got a money story holding you back, if you've got this thing and it's like, oh yeah, so when someone says they don't have the money, you're like, oh yeah, I get what that's like, not having the money. And then the two of you are like buddies, not having the money. Well, then you both just kind of created this new little bond of not having money, and you did not get a client. You did not get the client. You became their friend, you did not get their client. In fact, what's so interesting is a friend of mine who reps a makeup line, we were talking, and she's a new friend, and she listened to one of my Facebook Lives, and I was teaching, I think it was when I was doing the 25 do's and don'ts, and I was saying something, and she goes, what you said makes so much sense. She said that I don't know how to, when someone says something, I just want to be their friend, so I don't try to overcome it. And she said, but then I don't get the sale. So she's now trying it my way, and she's noticed a big difference in people saying yes to her. And that's another thing too. Oh, I see, Sherry, that's another objection, that people say they're shy. Yep. Or that they're not shy. Okay. I gotcha. Okay. But understand too, and this is especially for women and for some men, depending on how you're brought up, is that it's a lot about respecting people and not being argumentative and not being confrontational. So very often people think that to overcome an objection, means that you have to be argumentative or confrontational. And what I want to share with you is that that's not what it means. You're really trying to help somebody through to the other side. Because if you leave them there, if you're, let's say, a weight loss coach, and you've got a really amazing method to help somebody lose those 30, 40 pounds, and you work with other clients and you see it working all the time, and you know it could help them, that if you just sit there and when they say, oh, it's not the right time or I don't have the money, you're just like, okay, call me when it is, you're not helping them, you're leaving them in that place. Just like I know when I speak to somebody and they're stuck in an area that's my brilliance, whether it's making more money, getting more clients, breaking through to the next level, setting boundaries, stop procrastinating, charging what they're worth, magic price points. I mean, I've got the whole long list, but when I hear a ding, 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 like it's one of my things, if I leave them sitting there, I'm not of service to them. So my goal is always to try to help them. Now, I can't make them, but it's to help them see the other side. And I don't believe when you overcome objections, like I've seen some people do this, that they're almost like bully people. And I don't believe that's what overcoming objection is. I don't think it's about making someone feel less than. However, you do want to make the other person see what's really going on and how they're keeping themselves stuck. That's really, really critical, because otherwise you're just leaving them there. So if you're that weight loss coach, you're leaving that person there at the 30 or 40 pounds overweight. If you're a coach like me, you're leaving them there with whatever their area is stuck. If you whatever the heck you do, if you're not able to help them through that objection, you leave them stuck. And I look at it that when somebody's able to get this transformation, the transformation I perform or the transformation any of you perform, then that brings them into their brilliance. And then think about how many more people are they then able to help because of their brilliance. And it's like a domino effect. It's just that ripple through the water that starts changing everything. And it starts just with one. One leads to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32 to 64, and so on and so on. That's how it goes. Does that make sense to everybody? So let's just see, does anybody have, oops, I wanted to see if I can do this. Does anybody have any, oh, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, definitely. So does anybody have any questions? I just want to say, yeah, I was just reading a note. Yeah, so I just want to say to everybody, please, 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 think about this. Being able to help someone through an objection is really a gift. And then you're really empowering them, so then they can sit there and say, you know what, you're right. And then it's their choice, right? If they still want to sit there and say, no, I'm going to sit here and, wait for the perfect time or whatever, well, then it's their choice. But at least step into that objection instead of being afraid of it. I think an objection's a good thing. And so when you realize you're always going to get the same objections, the time, the money, the this, the that, and you know that, be prepared for it. Don't let it scare you. Don't let it scare you. So I want to just take a second, and Cheryl, I'll come back to your question in one sec, and just invite you to Conversations to Clients Live, and that website is actually conversationstoclientslive.com. It's the event I'm holding in June, which is actually June, believe it or not. I know 50-degree weather, it's June. And I'm really diving in deep into the sales conversation. Yes, the practical part about like what you say, why you say, how you say it, making it a really flowing conversation. But also too, what's really playing on in your head. Because understand, you're more likely the reason the person's saying no than they are. And when you understand that, that puts you back into your place of power. And that allows you to convert more people and say yes, instead of starting to take everything personally or feeling you can't help them and all that other stuff. So we dive in really deep to the objections, the time, the money, the energy, all that kind of stuff, your magic price point, charging what you're worth, and really just helping you enable your confidence level so you just become that ray of light that allows people in. And so if you go to conversationstoclientslive.com, you can still register. I still have a few seats left, not much. And there's that code Michelle put in the thread, YES, capital YES. 17, and that gives you, I think it's like $500 or $600 off, something like that. So it's huge. It's going away soon, so grab it before it disappears. I feed you both days, which is really good. And in case some of you were saying, oh, but Kate, this isn't a good time. I'll go next time. So I want to just tell you straight out, I don't know if I'm doing this again. I do not have this on the plan for 2019. Just to let you know that I'm an entrepreneur. I like to be creative. I've done this for a couple of years, and as of right now, this will probably be the last time I do this, at least in this format. So if you really are looking for guidance to get more people to say yes, to increase your income, you need to kind of move things around and be here. I'm just telling you that right now. If you absolutely can't, then talk to me. Let's figure out how we can work together so you learn how to be really comfortable with this. And so again, that's conversationstoclientslive.com. Use the code YES, all capital, YES 17. Come, you're going to be part of an amazing community. It's a very safe and sacred community, meaning that people can say what's on their mind without feeling judged. They're able to be vulnerable and really be able to make those transformations that they want. So let me answer some of these questions before I go. So let me just scroll down here. So I'm just looking how it's showing up on my laptop. So Bianca said, I work on my mindset, my limiting beliefs, and money story. It's still tough love. So I guess I'm confused. Are you saying that you need tough love or your people need tough love? So I just was confused. So Bianca, I know you said you had to go. So if you're able to elaborate a little bit more on that, I'm happy to answer. Sherry, you said a friend of mine did this and didn't make any money. So here's the thing. I don't know who your friend is, but it all really is how people show up. And I'm just being really honest with you that there are people who attend events, take trainings, hire coaches, things like that, and they don't fully participate. Maybe they show up late, maybe they leave early, maybe they don't ask questions, maybe they don't get vulnerable, maybe they don't do the work. I don't know who your friend is, honestly, so I don't know who that is, but I'm just saying, to get the results, you got to be willing and able and show 100%. And if you're the type of person who judges and says, well, my friend didn't get it, then that's your excuse. If you're saying, well, my friend didn't get the results, but maybe that's her thing, maybe she didn't show up. Your friend, does your friend show up fully for things? And if you think you can show up differently, then that's what you've got to ask yourself. If you hold yourself and your friend to the same standards, then you probably won't get the results you want. I'm just being honest with you because I go to a lot of events. I'm in a lot of coaching programs. I do a lot of trainings. And I'll tell you, just like remember in school, there's always people who participate a lot, who've got their hands raised, who ask questions, who are willing to get vulnerable, who are willing to ask this or that. And there are other people who just kind of don't, and they just kind of are seat warmers. So you've got to ask yourself which is which. And if you want to get results, then you've got to make set that intention of how you're going to show up. Does that answer your question, Sherry? Let's see. How do I get into all these questions? Let's see if I can see them on my phone. Sorry for my fingers. My laptop, they're not showing up there. Let's see. So Bianca had a question, said people love her discovery sessions, but oh, thank you. I got a yes, it does. Okay, so let's see. People love my discovery sessions. Sorry, there's a thing right on it, so I can't read it. But then they say they have no money. So one thing you've got to be careful of, and I do teach this at the event, is that very often when people have a strategy session or discovery session or introductory session, something like that, they end up doing lots and lots of coaching. And so that's one thing where you can get stuck, that if you give people all the coaching, all the answers, then they don't necessarily need to hire you. Okay, I'm just telling you honestly, because that's something, I know you're a coach, so I don't know if you do this or don't do this, but I know that's something that a lot of coaches and just entrepreneurs do in general, is that they start giving away their stuff right then and there. The other thing that can happen too is really learning how to get that person to say yes. And it's a whole sales process, and you may not be implementing all the parts and pieces correctly or in the right way. Which is part of it. The other thing too is about screening before you do discovery sessions. So I'm giving my little girl some rubbies here. She's so cute. She's just lying here on the couch. She's a sweet girl. Because sometimes you got to screen and understand too that not everybody is going to say yes to you. I mean, it'd be great if they do, but percentage-wise, you're probably not going to get 100% yeses, and it's being able to keep going through and saying next, 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 but also learning how to up the ante to start pulling in people who are more desirable people for you to be doing those sessions with. So Bianca, I think you've left, so I don't know, but I hope that'll help you. Let's see, I see one more question. Sherry said, what if I get someone who says they are not interested? So if they're not interested, I don't know the whole context of the conversation, but if they're not interested, you maybe just ask them why, but also it depends too on how you're doing it, because if you just go right in and and Sherry, I don't know you very well. I met you once, and I think we talked for like 2 seconds. So so this stuff may or may not be right on you, but sometimes what people do is they go right into the pitch. And I'm not saying this is you, so I'm giving kind of a broad answer. Again, if you were at the event, then we'd be able to have a conversation. But what I have seen people do in the past is sometimes they get right into a pitch, and then of course a person will go that they're not interested. The other way of doing it is if you do have a conversation with somebody and then they're not interested, the way I like to teach it is you've already been asking questions all along to get the interest level, because otherwise you would have let it go. And if they're not interested, they're just not interested. Maybe the person already has a service similar to yours that they're already using and they like. So that could be it too. Again, this is a conversation I'd like to have a little further to help explore. So if you are attending, we can dive in deeper, because I just don't know the entire context of that, but it could be a lot of different reasons. The big thing is, again, just to kind of pull it back is, make sure you're not hitting someone up first thing with like, buy my stuff. And the second thing is make sure that all your questions are kind of leading up and you keep getting a yes, a yes, a yes, a yes. Because otherwise you don't want to kind of pitch at somebody if you're getting no, 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 and they go, they're not interested. And then if you have been yeses and they just say like, I'm really not interested, then you want to find out, well, why? Maybe they say, I don't need it, don't want it, don't believe in it, don't like it, whatever, but you want to find out what that is. One other thing I want to add about the money objection is that very often people feel that because of our middle-class society, especially in the United States, that people feel if they say they don't have the money, that that's acceptable, and you just go, okay, and that's like the end of the conversation. I don't buy into that. So if you attend the event, you'll hear what I mean by all that. So I think that's it. I think I've gotten everybody's questions. And again, the link is conversationstoclientslive.com. Use the code capital YES 17, save some money. I still have a few seats left, but we're filling up, and which I'm really excited. It's the last year I plan on doing it in this way. So if this interests you, you definitely want to be there. And I saw that I think I answered Sherry's question. Sherry, I answered your question, right? But you definitely want to be there. If for some reason you can't attend the event, then contact my team, info@katebeaters.com, and let's talk about how else I can support you and help you, get to that next level. And that's info@katebeaters.com. So on that bright note, I'm looking outside, and man, it looks like it's going to pour any second. So again, join me and overcome those objections. Stop settling, stop saying okay, learn how to really help that person, guide them. Be the transformational agent you are meant to be, right? Be the transformational agent you're meant to be. Be brilliant. And on that note, until we meet again, be brilliant. Oh, wait, one other thing. If somebody has a question that they want to ask me about the event because they're not sure if they should go or not go, my book is Go or Don't Go. Just made myself laugh. Feel free. You can also email my team and just either email a question or hop on a quick call with me, and I'm happy to answer any questions for you. Okay, thanks everybody. Until we meet again, be brilliant.